Have you ever really stopped to think about how you started? I mean, not your first memory, but your very first moment. Today, we're going to go on that incredible journey from a single cell, totally invisible to the naked eye, all the way to a newborn baby. It's probably the most extraordinary story there is, the story of us.
So yeah, how does a single cell become a person? It's kind of mind-blowing when you think about it. To really get it, we're going to follow the journey of one baby from start to finish. Let's call her Arohi. Her story really is all of our stories.
Okay, so Arohi's journey starts way before she's born, in what we call the prenatal period. And let me tell you, it kicks off with a bang. The first 2 weeks are unbelievably busy and, honestly, super high stakes.
This first phase is called the germinal stage, and you got to think of it like a race against the clock. A new life has just sparked, but it's not safe yet. It has to find a home, a place to implant and start growing. This is seriously the first huge hurdle. It's a total make-or-break moment that decides if this story even gets to continue.
And when I say fast, I mean fast. First, boom, fertilization. Arohi is now a single cell. But she doesn't hang out like that. Nope. She immediately starts dividing, becoming this tiny little ball of cells that's on the move. And its mission? To travel and successfully attach to the uterine wall. That's implantation. That's the moment she plugs into her lifeline for the next 9 months.
She's made it. She's safely implanted. Now, Arohi is about to enter what is arguably the most critical phase of her entire development. I mean it. For the next 6 weeks, the actual blueprint for her whole body is going to be drawn up. Welcome to the embryonic stage. You can think of it as the master construction site. It's incredible. In just 6 short weeks, Arohi goes from this little cluster of cells to something that looks like a miniature person. We're talking every single major organ, every body system. Everything gets its start right here, in this tiny window of time. The pace is just breathtaking. Her brain and spinal cord start to form. That's the central command center. You start to see these little buds that will, believe it or not, become her arms and legs. And maybe the most amazing part, by just week 4, her tiny heart, which is no bigger than a poppy seed, starts to beat. It's wild. And all of this is being powered by the placenta and umbilical cord, her own personal life support system. But here's the thing. With all this super fast, super complex construction comes some serious vulnerability. The whole process is incredibly sensitive to anything that might disrupt it right now.
And those disruptions, they often come from harmful stuff in the environment. There's a scientific name for them, teratogens. A teratogen is basically anything that can get in the way of normal development and, potentially cause some really serious lifelong issues.
And what's crazy is that some of the most common ones are things we see all the time. We're talking about alcohol, nicotine, even certain drugs or infections. They can all act as teratogens. And during this super-sensitive embryonic stage, being exposed to them is kind of like a huge earthquake hitting that construction site we talked about. It can completely mess with that fundamental blueprint for life. So, once that blueprint is laid down, Arohi moves into the final and longest stage of her journey before birth. Now, the next few months aren't really about building new stuff. It's all about growing, refining, and getting everything ready for the big day, life on the outside. This is what we call the fetal stage. And now, Arohi is officially known as a fetus. From this point on, it's all about growth and maturation. Her organs have to mature, her brain is going to go through this explosive development phase, and all her systems need to be prepped and ready to work on their own the second she's born.
And you can really see her progress take off here. I mean, check this out. By month 5, she's moving around enough that her mom can feel those first little flutters and kicks. How cool is that? Then, by month 7, a huge leap forward. Her hearing is developed enough that she can actually hear and recognize her mom's voice from inside the womb. The last couple of months are all about packing on the pounds and getting those final touches ready for her big debut.
And then, it's time. The moment arrives. Arohi is born. But what's her world like now? How does she experience these first few moments and weeks? Let's dive into what her senses are telling her.
This kicks off what's called the neonatal period, basically the first 4 weeks of life on the outside. For Arohi, this is a time of massive adjustment. Her entire world has just completely changed, and her body and all her senses have to figure out this totally new environment.
So what's this new world like for her? Well, it's a little blurry, to be honest. Her vision is best at about 8 to 10 inches away, which, hey, is the perfect distance to see a parent's face, right? But her hearing? Crystal clear. She knows her mom's voice instantly.
She finds comfort in that familiar smell of her mother's milk, and she definitely prefers sweet tastes. But above all, her world is all about touch. It's her most developed sense, and it's absolutely crucial for feeling safe and starting to bond.
Now don't think Arohi was born completely helpless. Not at all. She actually came equipped with a built-in survival kit, a whole set of automatic instincts that help her figure out this new world, right from minute one.
And these reflexes, they're perfectly designed for survival. For example, take the ones for eating. If you stroke her cheek, the rooting reflex kicks in, and she'll turn her head toward the touch looking for food. Then the sucking reflex takes over. It's genius. Others are protective, like the Moro reflex, when they get startled by a loud noise. And some, like the grasp reflex, are so strong a newborn can practically support their own weight. Every single one has a vital job to do in these first few weeks.
But beyond these automatic reflexes, Arohi has to learn how to, run her own body. For 9 months, everything was done for her. Now, suddenly, she has to breathe air on her own. She has to figure out how to suck, swallow, and breathe all at the same time just to eat, which is harder than it sounds. She has to control her own body temperature, and her only tool for communication, crying. That's her way of saying something's wrong.
So when you look at it all together, Arohi's story really shows us that this first journey is just a masterpiece of biological engineering. It's a process that's all about explosive growth, these super critical windows of development, and being incredibly sensitive to the world around it, every single step of the way. Which kind of leaves us with one last big question. After seeing this whole incredible, complex, and honestly vulnerable journey, what do you think is the single most important thing for giving every kid a healthy start? Is it all about nutrition? Or maybe genetics? Or is it just having a safe, nurturing environment? Well, if Arohi's journey has taught us anything, the answer is pretty clear. It's all of it. Every single piece matters.